If you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, and you're still spending your weekends partying in clubs, drinking until 2 a.m., and waking up hungover, you, my friend, are not living life. You are destroying your future. And especially if you are a parent, if you have children, you're not just destroying your own future, you're destroying your kids' future too. And I know that sounds very, very harsh, and it should, because somebody needs to say it, and nobody will say this bluntly as I will. So, quick little story about me. I actually never went out in high school. I never partied in college, and I never lived it up in my early 20s, as most people in their late teens, early 20s typically would, right? It's during high school, during college. And now I did not do any of these activities, not because I was super disciplined back then, but it was mainly because I was very shy, very introverted. I was anxious, and honestly, I just hated the way alcohol tasted and the smell of cigarettes and the smell of weed. Like I genuinely could not stand it. Like it required zero discipline for me to not go out. And I thought it made me kind of weird, right? Because I thought, well, why is everyone else enjoying these activities, and why do I not feel the urge to do this? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, am I weird for not wanting to do this? What's going on? Because I was not fitting in with my peers, with my classmates, with my friends. But it turns out now, right, looking back in hindsight, that weird decision became one of the biggest advantages, competitive advantages of my entire life. Because while everyone else was out drinking, partying, and wasting their weekends away, what I was doing was I was building my physique, I was building my discipline, I was building my business, I was building my income, and I was building my future. That is how I went from a shy, introverted, chubby kid growing up in the Netherlands who always struggled with self-esteem issues, who always struggled with holding on to body fat, to eventually being able to travel the world whenever I wanted to, making over 6 figures a year and helping hundreds of busy men get lean, get strong, get confident, and feel powerful once again. So in today's video, I'm going to break down why I personally never go out, why you should stop going out if you're currently doing that every single weekend, the science behind how nightlife destroys, absolutely ruins your health, why clubs are always also the worst place to actually meet people. So if you're actually looking to find a partner, find a friend, whoever, the nightclub is the worst place for you to do that. Also, how it can ruin fathers and families. And lastly, what you should be doing instead if you actually want to build a barbarian lifestyle. So let's get into it. Starting with section number 1, the harsh truth no one wants to admit. Going out isn't fun. It's escapism. Like, let's just cut to the chase. Like, you're escaping reality. Most people party because their real life is just boring, stressful, and empty. They're not celebrating anything. They're just avoiding responsibility. If your week is so unfulfilling that you feel the urge to escape every single weekend by going out, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes with your quote unquote friends, that right there is not freedom. That is slavery. So let's get into the science for a moment here. When it comes to actually going out, alcohol is going to be involved inevitably, right? It's like, why else do people go out? Rarely have I seen people go out who don't drink alcohol, who don't smoke, who don't do all the other activities associated with going out, right? But here's the thing. I don't think most people are aware of this. Like, it doesn't take a scientist to figure this out, but alcohol has so many negative health consequences. So first and foremost, it destroys your sleep. And a study actually found that just one drink reduces sleep quality by 9%. Now, if you have 2 drinks, that is increased by 24%. And over 3 drinks, all the way up to 39%. So you wake up tired but wired, and your next day is just absolutely ruined. One bad night also drops your testosterone levels. So the University of Chicago found that just one night of poor sleeps drops your testosterone levels by up to 15%. Now, that is enough to tank your motivation the next day, tank your libido, your sex drive, your urge, your mood, and your recovery. And and it also increases your craving. So studies actually show that alcohol increases your appetite, reduces impulse control, and leads to binge eating. This is why so often you see drunk people devour 2,000 calories at midnight, right? And I remember I had a friend back then, no longer a friend of mine, and he really convinced me, he encouraged me to go out, right? I got peer pressured, and it happens to everyone, right? And I viewed him as a friend back then, but now like we're completely separate. And yeah, like he kind of took me out for the first ever time to like the whole nightlife, where we went bar hopping from like bar to bar to bar, and I did not really know how anything worked, basically. Like apparently there's like specific ways to do specific things when it comes to nightlife, where one thing I learned the hard way, and this was the first ever time when I went out, and it's been the last time as well, and it'll probably be the last time as well, but apparently, and I did not know this at the time, but apparently you're not supposed to like mix drinks. So going from one drink to the next drink to the next drink, it's like you're not supposed to do that, because that can increase the level of drunkenness, if that's even a term. But yeah, I did not really know that. And I had from one drink to the next drink to the next drink. And I felt absolutely just horrible. That was the first time, and like I said, last time that I ever got drunk. And I just remember that entire experience was from start to finish, from like starting like from like the pre-drink to like finding the outfits to wear, to like getting into an Uber, paying $50 to just to like drive downtown, and then going from bar to bar, buying all these stupid drinks that are like $20 each, and then buying drinks for other people. And that just everything from start to finish, like it just, I wasted so much money. And not just was that night completely ruined, where like, yeah, like of course, like when you're going out, you're not productive. Like you're not working on your business. You're not getting homework done. You're not doing anything productive during that time. You're just kind of like floating in the air, trying to have like some fun, right? And then the next day was even worse, because you wake up hungover. I remember I puked that night, and then the following morning as well. My appetite was gone. I was tired, lethargic. I slept in. Like looking back in hindsight now, I'm like, it's just such a waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy, just waste of everything. Like there was no positive thing that I got from that experience. And I, to this day, regret going. Like, I don't even, like, I regretted getting drunk. And I think like everyone says like, oh, like you should experience things in life. Like you should, at the very, like people tell me like, oh, like at least now you know what it's like to feel drunk. But it's like, I would rather have not experienced that and still not wanting to go out, versus having experienced that, because ultimately I would not have gone out ever again, essentially. So yeah, that's just kind of like my one and only story of me actually going out. And yeah, once again, it was just the worst thing that I possibly ever did to myself, to my health, to my productivity, to everything. And I'll keep in mind, this was a couple of years ago. I was not in the best of circles at the time, but yeah. And lastly, like the last thing that I want to obviously touch on here is when it comes to alcohol, I think most people know this, but it just completely wrecks your decision making, right? So a meta-analysis, which is just a group of studies conducted or showed that in addictive behavior, showed that alcohol increases your risk taking, it increases your impulsivity, emotional reactivity, and then also poor judgment, which is why obviously like you're not supposed to drink and drive. You're not supposed to take a test while you're drunk. You're not supposed to do anything while you're drunk, honestly. Like being in a drunk state, like you're not a productive member to society. You should just be at home, lock yourself in a closet, and just stay there until you're back to being normal again, essentially. So this leads me on to the next part, which is why nightclubs are a horrible, and I mean absolutely horrible, place to meet people. And when I went out, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to like put myself out there a bit more, like, oh, meet new people, meet like-minded people. But that cannot be further from the truth, because let's just cut the BS. You're not meeting the real version of anyone there. Alcohol plus the loud music plus the darkness and the weird lights that are shining on your faces, you're meeting their alter ego, not their actual values. And like, again, just from personal experience, it's impossible to have a conversation with actual people. Like, especially given how loud the music is, it's like you can't even hear yourself. Like, how do you expect to have a productive conversation with anyone, let alone your friends, during that time? There's like, you can barely see anything. There's like alcohol everywhere. It stinks. The music is loud. You can't hear anyone or yourself. Like, what are you there? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it's just the stupidest thing ever. And most nightclubs also favor superficial traits. And you can't bond over values there, or about ambition, or about your goals, or about just someone's character. You're there to like bond over vodka and flashing lights and, oh, I love this song, or, oh, I know the lyrics to the song, so let me show off my lyric skills and do some karaoke or whatever. Or let me impress this boy or girl by buying them a drink. Yeah, that'll win me over, right? Just stupid, just so stupid. Why does this even exist? Like, why do nightclubs actually even exist? Now that I'm actually just talking about it, and hopefully you guys can kind of like hopefully resonate with this and say like, you know what, why do nightclubs exist? Why do I go out? What is the actual purpose of me going out? Like, ask yourself that question. And I said at the very start of this live call that the reason, I would say 99% of you who are watching right now, who go out every single weekend, or just maybe once a month, whatever it may be, just if you go out in general, the reason you go out, I think deep down, I think shallow, surface level, you'll tell yourself that, oh, I just want to have fun. I want to let loose. But I think deep down, the reason why you actually go out is because you hate your current life. You hate your existence. You hate your job. You hate your actual life, your reality. And so you need the weekend to escape your reality, because you don't get your dopamine hits. You don't get your enjoyment from your 9-to-5 job, from working. But if you actually just sit down and reflect, what do you do 90% of your life? You work. You are at work, working. So wouldn't it make sense to find a job, to find enjoyment out of work, instead of dreading it and then using the weekends to escape and not getting any ahead? At the very, like, if you currently hate your job, then use the weekends to get ahead instead of falling behind or distracting yourself. Especially if you don't like your job. Like, if you love your job right now, then okay, cool. By all means, do whatever you want. But if you currently don't like your situation, yet you are using the weekends to not do anything about it, you should not be surprised that you're fat, that you're broke, that you're out of shape, that your libido sucks, that your energy sucks, that you have no drive, you have no motivation, you have no willpower, you have no nothing. You have nothing. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. I also found this 2017 study in a journal of social and personal relationships pretty interesting. It found that couples who meet in clubs have higher failure rates due to lower trust, higher cheating rates, lower relationship satisfaction, and higher breakup rates, right? So if you meet someone at the club and you find them attractive and you just end up bonding over a drink, and then you end up sleeping together on that night, like, even that, like, I know I'm kind of going like really deep in this live call, but if somehow you meet someone and you hook up with someone at a nightclub and you bring them back home and you guys do the thing, what does that show you about each other? When I think of that, it shows me that, oh, well, him or her would have done that to anyone. I could have been someone else and they would have still done that. Doesn't that sound weird? Doesn't that sound horrible? Like, you could have been someone completely different and they probably would have still slept with you, whether you're a guy or a girl, especially if you're a guy. Like, if you're a guy, you do it with anyone, right? But especially, like, if you're a girl, like, it just grosses me out. It disgusts me, absolutely disgusts me. And so no wonder why, couples who meet in clubs have higher failure rates, because of, there's zero trust there. There's higher cheating rates, right? Because you're more than likely to cheat on other people if you're willing to be that shallow and sleep with someone after just meeting them for a couple hours at a club. Or, like, no wonder why there's higher breakup rates and lower relationship satisfaction. Like, why, you may ask? Well, because the relationship started with lust, alcohol, distraction, and no compatibility. Also, high value people, like people who are successful in life or who at least want to be successful, don't hang out in low value environments. So if you want a partner, if you want a friendship, if you want relationships with someone who is fit, who is disciplined, who is mentally stable, who is ambitious, who is loyal, who is responsible, you are not going to find them at 1 a.m. in a dark building full of drunk strangers. Period. You are not going to do it. And by me saying this out loud, of course it makes sense. And you know that. I know that. But then why do I have to tell you that? Like, come on. Get your head out of your ass. You want to know where you actually find these types of people? You find them where people grow, not where people escape. Where? I don't know. A gym, a run club, like a place where highly ambitious people actually go. If you go to a nightclub, you're going to attract low value people. Whereas if you go to a high end, like, I mean, even if you go grocery shopping at Whole Foods, like people who shop at Whole Foods, like you can tell that, okay, these people at least give a crap about their health. They're at least concerned about what they put into their body, or they have a lot of money. But either way, like they're still going to be a high value person, right? So this is really, really important. I know my audience is somewhat younger, but if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, let's just say 30s and 40s, it gets even worse because, and this may trigger you, but I really want to make sure that I actually do trigger you, because you need to get your head out of your ass if this is you. If you are a dad and you have children and you have a family and you have responsibilities and you go out drinking every single weekend, you are failing your friends. Your children, or you're failing your kids, sorry. Your children don't need a cool father or a cool parents. They need a present parent. They need a leader, a protector, a provider, a role model, someone they can actually look up to. Do you think your kids are going to look up to someone who gets drunk on the weekend? I mean, I wouldn't. I'd view that person as a clown. I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish? And how on earth can you be that when you're hungover, when you're exhausted, when you're bloated, when you're irritable, when you're broke, when you're avoiding responsibility, when you're escaping your actual life? Kids don't copy what you say. They couldn't care less. Like, you can tell them one thing, they don't care. What they actually copy is what they see. So practice what you preach. Same thing when it comes to myself. Like, my clients, I could tell them what workouts to do. I could tell them what foods to eat. I can tell them what meal plans to follow. But if I myself don't do that, if I'm not congruent, there's going to be some incongruence there, right? It's like taking advice from a fat personal trainer or taking advice from a broke person, like financial advice from a broke person. They could very well be saying all of the right things. They could tell you, a fat person could tell you, oh, you got to be in a calorie deficit. You got to eat these foods to optimize your testosterone, to optimize your health. But if you look at them and they're a fat piece of crap, you're likely just not going to follow what they say, because it's like, well, okay, cool, thanks. But why do you look like that? And of course, they'll tell you X, Y, Z reason why. They'll tell them about their metabolism, or they'll say that, oh, well, back in high school, I used to be a Chad, or back in college, I did all these things, but then, life got busy. I got some kids, and I got work, and I got all these things, right? Excuses. So once again, and this doesn't just go for children, but people don't copy what you say, they copy what they see. So if you actually want people, like, if you want to be a role model, and if you want people to, like, if you want to be a leader in life and have people follow you, don't just tell them what to do, show them by actually doing it yourself. If you want to help people get in shape, you should probably be in shape. If you want to help other people get rich, you should probably be rich. If you want to help anyone do anything in life, you should probably be doing that very thing and be successful at that thing. Especially nowadays, because trust is at an all-time low. Like, with social media, with AI coming out, like it's hard to know who to trust, right? And information, like we live in an information society now. Like we got ChatGPT, we got AI, we got all these other models. Like you don't need a PhD to know how to lose weight. You can just go to ChatGPT and have it write you a meal plan, have it write you a workout program. Like you have so much information. You know exactly what to do. And if you don't, just search it up. But the reason why most people stay stuck is because they don't do anything with that information. They know exactly what to do, step-by-step blueprints, yet they're sitting on a couch doing nothing. Why? Well, it's probably because they have no accountability. They have no drive. They have no oomph. They have no desire to actually make the change. They'll tell themselves, they'll tell other people they want to change, but there's a reason why they haven't made the change. And there's a reason why they're still fat. Because they have no accountability. They have no desire. They have no why. They have no strong purpose in life. So let's move on to the next point. Going out destroys your goals. Now this one's quite simple. The night itself, when you go out, it's completely gone. I talked about this earlier, but like you're not productive while you're going out. The next day is also gone. And also your momentum is gone. One night out will literally ruin 2 days of productivity. The night itself and the following day. Now, if you go out 2 nights in a row, say goodbye to the entire week. You'll never outwork your hangovers. You'll never out-hustle your lack of sleep, and you'll never outrun your vices. Your competition is grinding while you're recovering, right? Like while you're going out, I'm like so, this sounds really bad, but I'm very competitive. And if I see my competitors go out, I'm like, yes, keep on drinking, keep on smoking, keep on eating that junk food. Yes, please take another bite. Stay out another hour. Buy that extra drink. Do it, please. Meanwhile, I'm out here grinding. I'm working towards a better future. And it sounds really toxic. Like, don't get me wrong. I have some very toxic personality traits, but it's led me to where I am now. And I'm okay with it. It's like, I'm a competitive person. I want to win in life. I want to build the best brand, the best business, the best body, the best everything. I'm highly ambitious. I'm highly competitive. And if I see other people waste away their potential, I'm like, yeah, cool. One less competitor. Cool. So here's why I personally don't go out and never will. I don't think you guys already know why. I've already touched on my story, but just a quick recap. Like I said, I genuinely am in the process and I want to build a world-class physique, a world-class business, a world-class lifestyle, world-class discipline, world-class energy, a world-class future, world-class everything. And nightclubs don't get you any of those. Ask yourself this question: where do I want to be in life, and what would that take, or what would I need to sacrifice in order to reach these goals? And then ask yourself, how does the nightclub help me reach these goals? Now, if you were to actually think about it, you're going to have to sit down and think long and hard about this, but eventually you'll come to your senses and say, okay, well, given all these highly ambitious goals that I have, and given what the nightclub has to offer me, it doesn't really align with my goals. Going out will not help me build a world-class physique or a world-class business or a world-class lifestyle or world-class discipline or world-class energy or a world-class future or the most sexiest partner ever. It won't help me do that. So why am I still doing this? Because the clubs, what they do give you is they give you hangovers, they give you regrets, they give you wasted time, they give you wasted money, and they give you wasted potential. That's all it does. If someone in the comments can let me know what beneficial thing the nightclub actually gives you, I'm eager. Like, please drop it down below. Like, put it in the comments down below right now. I'd love to hear it. I would absolutely love to hear it. Now, if you're going to put in the comments and say like a snarky comment of like, Oh, like it gives me a nice little break from work, or oh, it gives me some downtime with my friends, or oh, it gives me a nice little taste of alcohol. I'm just not even gonna. I'm like, okay, cool. If you need that in your life, then okay, so be it. I like to get my dopamine from tough workouts, from cold plunges, from ice baths, from doing something hard and difficult, than getting my dopamine from something quick and cheap and disgusting. So here is what you need to do instead. This is the barbarian path. You don't need nightlife to have a great life. What you need, like genuinely, like this is actually what you need. If you want more dopamine, if you want more excitement, if you like, this is actually what you need. Grab a pen and paper, write this down. You need a mission. You need a business. You need a powerful body. You need skills. You need discipline, a community. You need real friends. You need real experiences, and you need real purpose in life. That is all you need. This is the recipe to a successful, fulfilled life. And you do not find this at a nightclub. Build your life so strong that the idea of getting numb in a club actually disgusts you. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Build your life so strong that the idea of getting drunk in a nightclub actually disgusts you. Become the kind of person who doesn't need alcohol to feel alive. So here's my final message. And if I haven't triggered you yet, this may trigger you. If you are still partying every single weekend, please listen closely to this. You're not being young, wild, and free. You're avoiding your potential. Like everyone here listening right now, you have so much to give the world. You have so much potential. Like everyone, every single human being. Like we can all get into better shape. We can all make more money. We can all start a business. We can all do this. Like there's nothing special or magical about me or about my successful clients or about anyone else who you look up to. Nothing special, nothing magical. They don't have more willpower than you. They don't have more discipline than you. They don't have more anything than you. We are all human beings living on this floating rock. So if someone has shown to you and has proven to you that they can do it, so can you. You're just going to have to figure it out. But it's going to be increasingly more difficult to figure it out while you're drunk, while you're obese, while you're fat, while you're broke, while you're all these things, while you're escaping reality. So when you go out, you're not having fun. You're just distracting yourself. And you're not living life. You're wasting the best years of your life, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s. This is your time to grind, to fulfill your potential. And one thing that's, I don't know where I heard it from first or who I got it from, but I'm definitely not the first person who came up with this, but I'm not sure if you guys are spiritual or religious, doesn't matter, but I see myself when I die going up to wherever I go. It doesn't matter where I go, but someone is going to show me my potential and say, hey, Cohnan, this is what your life could have looked like if you actually did everything within your power, within your control to reach your full potential. And I would hate to be in that situation once I'm dead and once I get shown what my life actually could look like and having not have lived that life, having not have experienced that life because I wanted to go out, because I wanted some instant gratification. I wanted some quick dopamine hits, as opposed to actually putting in the work, actually putting in the effort, and actually living the life that I actually wanted to live. And especially like if you're older, and especially if you have children, if you have kids, if you have a family, and you have a responsibility, you should feel guilty. You should feel ashamed of yourself because your family deserves better than the version of you that nightlife creates. So choose strength, choose excellence, and choose the barbarian path. Now, if you want to build the healthiest, strongest, most disciplined version of yourself, go book a free consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose. We'll look exactly what's holding you back right now from achieving that goal. And we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. Because without proper health, nothing, and I mean nothing else matters. Like if you're unhealthy, like if you're not healthy, like you're dead. And if you're dead, you can't do anything. So I'm a firm believer that anything you want in life comes from a foundation of health. Because when you're healthy, you have more energy, you have more confidence, you have six-pack abs. People will respect you more. You will respect yourself more. Like most people watching this right now, you don't even respect yourself. I can look at someone and say, that guy does not respect himself. That guy is obese. That guy is fat. All of these people don't respect themselves, because if you genuinely respected yourself, you would not allow yourself to be fat, to be out of shape. I respect my body far too much to let myself go. I respect my body far too much to put junk food into my body. Do I deserve that? No, I don't. I deserve to eat highly nutritious meals because I want the best for myself. And you deserve the best of yourself too.